All right, let me take you through what's our lead story today on the South Indian. There it is. Karnataka action initiated over Janivara Rao. A major controversy has erupted in Karnataka over the alleged removal of sacred threads during the common entrance test, which is CET. A probe panel set up by the Bengaluru administration has found that staff at Krupanidhi Pre-University College intentionally forced students to remove their Janivara during CET examinations.
They didn't allow me because they saw my Janivara and they started telling that you have to remove it. If you don't remove, we can't allow you to write the exam. So I called my father and told that they are doing like this, what to do and all. Even he didn't know what to do. So he also told what, except me, around 7 students, they did like this only. They removed the Janivaras. And yeah, so they also removed, so there is no option. Maybe CET has did some rules or something. So my father told you can remove. So I also removed, and I had no choice. Yes, of course. I felt very sad. I could not write the CET exam very properly.
The inquiry, ordered after complaints from students and parents, examined CCTV footage and statements from multiple stakeholders. The findings clearly state that the staff were trained on dress code norms, yet they chose to act otherwise. Now, the panel has now recommended that the college should not be used as an examination center in the future and called for strict action against those involved. The examination was conducted by the Karnataka Examinations Authority, which had already issued clear guidelines protecting religious symbols like the Janivara. Following outrage, 3 staff members have been suspended and arrested, with an FIR registered under charges related to hurting religious sentiments. The incident has now taken a political turn, with leaders like Tejasvi Surya and R. Ashoka accusing the government of failing to protect religious freedom. Meanwhile, groups like the Akhila Karnataka Brahmana Mahasabha have called it a deliberate act demanding strict penalties and cancellation of licenses of institutions involved. With protests growing and more students coming forward, the controversy is now raising serious questions over examination protocols, religious rights and accountability. My colleague Vajiullah earlier spoke to the father of a CET student, Nakul, who alleged that his son was forced to remove his sacred thread at the examination center before being allowed to write the exam. Let's listen into that first, and then we go straight to Vajiullah.
Hello?
Hello, am I speaking to Nakul?
No, I'm his father. Who is that?
Okay. Hi, sir. I am Vaji. I'm calling you from TV9 News9 English.
Okay.
Yeah. Just wanted to record a phono from you on what happened at the examination center today. So, can you just explain us what actually happened with your son at the examination center today?
Yeah, actually, yesterday morning he had physics exam, and afternoon he had chemistry. So, once he entered, actually, they told to remove the earrings. Actually, he had a small earrings. They told to remove it. He removed it. There is no objection. It is okay for us to remove. But after that, they told to remove the secret thread. Actually, that is very important to us. Almost every day we will do puja for it, and we shouldn't remove. But they forced him to remove it, so that he became little bit of panic actually. Then they told that without removing it, we shouldn't attend the exam. So he was very much panic, and my wife was there. So he came to my wife and he asked, but almost 1 year he studied for exam, CET exam. So that she told to, she allowed, and she took the secret actually. Then after that, after 20-25 minutes of discussion, they allowed him to write the exam. So
with the sacred thread, Jane, or without it?
Without it, he wrote. Today they allowed. Yesterday they didn't allow. Without it, and he wrote.
But what is the reason they're giving? Why this we should not have it?
They told there is no reason. Simply they told. I don't know what is the reason, but they didn't allow. Okay. Yeah, that's why he was very panic actually, so that he couldn't write his exam also properly. Almost 1 year he studied very much for CET, as you know. But due to panic, he couldn't write also. And this is the only center that they told like that we should remove Janivara.
Other centers they're allowing. is it?
Yeah, other center, no issues. Yeah. Hello?
Hello, am I speaking to Nakul?
No, I'm his father. Who
Yeah,
is that?
okay.
And for more on that story, let me now go across to Vajiullah, who's joining us live from Bengaluru. Vaji, I heard your phone call with Nakul's father, and the way he said that only at this center, he said how it is very sacred for us. It is sacred for that community. You know, Vaji, correct me if I'm wrong. The same thing had happened in 2025, where they said not only the Janivara, but for some women, they said if you can take off your Mangal Sutra as well, you know, take off your rings, take off your bangles. And for certain communities, it is very important that, you know, they wear all this. At that time, I remember DK saying what is all this is happening is very wrong. Now again this happens, some principal takes now, you know, some unilateral decision. Now the thing is that the committee has found that he is guilty of it. What is going on now, Vaji?
Absolutely. What we saw last time was something that somewhere or the other felt like a decision which was carried by almost every institution. But this time around, the government was trying to be way more careful. But it turns out there was still, like you mentioned, certain institutes that took an independent decision. And one of the colleges in Bengaluru was Krupanadi College. You had a few such incidents in the rural areas also. But from what we understood and what the education minister also said that this is a very unfortunate thing that happened in these colleges, and they set up a committee to find out what happened behind it. And what the committee also found out, especially in Krupanadi College in Bengaluru, was the fact that it was deliberately done by the teachers over there, where they wanted the students to remove the Janivara without any such instructions from authorities or from the government. Now, the recommendation of the committee has been to ban the college permanently. Now, whether they will ban the college or not is something we'll have to wait and watch. But what you actually mentioned, that what is happening is something where nobody is able to understand, because if there was no such indication, if there was no such rule or no notification given by the government, then why did individual educational institutes do this? How come a Janivara will affect somebody's exam, or how will it ever become a tool for somebody to copy? We understand that you may hide something beneath your shoes and come, or in your socks and come, but how is a Janivara or a sacred thread that almost every Brahmin wears it becomes this thing? Now, that is something we've been waiting from the college institute. So far, we have not gotten any response from them. But the incident happened 2 days back when they were all going for C8 exams, and that is when this incident came into picture.
The thing is that the story then progressed. I mean, our committee has found them guilty. The people have been suspended. Like you said, this Krupanadi may be banned. We have to wait and watch. You know, the entire thing is that you cannot play around with students like that. I understand this is the era of the Bluetooth. You know, anything unfair practices can be adopted. But if the hijab issue, which we as a channel protested against, that what business do you have to stop girls from entering the college and during examination wearing a hijab, then this is equally ridiculous, no, Vajiullah?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, touching anybody's religious and personal sentiments is something that universities, colleges, and especially government should be away from them. They do not have the right to interfere with people's personal belief or their personal habits, especially with something which is connected to their religion. One actually is baffled to understand that how come a Janivara become a problem to a certain institute when a student is writing an exam. And one also has to understand the mindset in which a student comes to write an exam. A student who has been preparing throughout his through the year for this particular exam, studies everything in and out, studies about everything that is there. And when he comes to the examination, he's been told that your Janivara is an issue and you're not supposed to write an exam, or your hijab is an issue, you're not supposed to write an exam. The mental trauma that he goes through, everything that he has learned, he is under pressure, he doesn't know what to do, he has to remove a thread which he's been wearing throughout his life. Now, these things becomes a hindrance in his own achievements also. And the college should also understand this.
On that note, thank you very much, Vajiullah, for joining us on this broadcast.